You're taking supplements to improve your health. But what if some of them are quietly making your hair thinner month after month? For many women over 65, hair thinning is one of the most frustrating changes that comes with aging. You try your best buying special shampoos, adjusting your diet, even taking expensive supplements that promise thicker, stronger hair. But despite your efforts, you notice more strands left on your pillow, in your brush, and clogging the shower drain. And that's deeply upsetting. Here's the uncomfortable truth most supplement companies don't want to talk about. Many well-intentioned women unknowingly worsen their hair loss by taking the wrong supplements or by taking the right ones in the wrong amounts. It's not your fault. You were trying to support your health. You were told these supplements would help. But in some cases, these popular products may quietly disrupt your body's natural balance and sabotage your hair's ability to grow and regenerate. As a physician who has spent years working with senior women, I've seen this pattern far too often. Women walk into my office, desperate for answers, their hair becoming thinner and more fragile, despite everything they're doing right. That's why today's video is so important. I'm going to reveal the 5 most common supplement mistakes that silently worsen hair loss in women over 65. And more importantly, how you can fix them safely and naturally. We're not going to talk about miracle cures or trendy supplements that make grand promises without real science. Instead, we're going to look at how aging changes your hair physiology, how certain nutrients interact with your body after menopause, and how simple, evidence-based adjustments can help you reclaim stronger, healthier hair, even well after age 65. And even if you haven't experienced major hair thinning yet, this information can help you prevent problems before they start. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's begin this important conversation, because your hair health deserves real science, not empty marketing. Before we talk about specific supplements, we need to understand why hair becomes so vulnerable in women after 65. It's not just about getting older. It's about the complex hormonal and metabolic shifts that happen in your body as you age. One of the most significant factors is hormonal change, especially the drop in estrogen after menopause. Estrogen plays many important roles throughout a woman's body, and one of them is protecting your hair. It helps keep hair follicles in a healthy, active growth phase called anagen. When estrogen levels decline, that protective effect weakens. Hair follicles can shift more easily into the resting or shedding phases, leading to thinner hair over time. But there's another piece to this puzzle: DHT sensitivity. DHT, or dihydrotestosterone, is a more potent form of testosterone. Both women and men produce it naturally. In younger women, estrogen helps balance and buffer the effects of DHT. But after menopause, with estrogen levels much lower, some women become more sensitive to DHT's effects, even if their actual DHT levels don't increase dramatically. This heightened sensitivity can cause miniaturization of hair follicles, making each new strand of hair thinner and weaker than the one before. Next, we need to consider how aging slows down hair follicle regeneration. Every hair on your head grows from a follicle, a tiny organ beneath your skin that cycles through growth, rest, and shedding phases. As we age, these cycles become less efficient. The follicles rest longer between growth phases, and some may even stop producing hair. Altogether, a process called follicular snap. This leads to gradual thinning, not just in terms of how much hair you lose, but also in the diameter and strength of each strand. And that's not all. With age, your digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients. Even if you're eating a balanced diet, your body may not be absorbing enough of the key vitamins and minerals your hair follicles need to function optimally. Low stomach acid, slower enzyme production, and medication side effects can all interfere with nutrient absorption. Iron, zinc, B vitamins, protein. All of these are crucial for hair health, and deficiencies can easily sneak up on you. But paradoxically, aging can also make you more vulnerable to nutrient overload, especially with supplements. That's because your body's ability to safely regulate excess levels of certain nutrients declines. Fat-soluble vitamins like A and D can accumulate in your tissues. Minerals like iron or zinc can build up if taken in excessive amounts, leading to toxicity that directly harms your hair follicles. For many women, the emotional and psychological impact of hair thinning in later life is profound. Hair is not just a cosmetic feature. It's tied deeply to your identity, your sense of femininity, your confidence. Watching your hair become thinner can feel like losing a part of yourself, especially when you've worked so hard to maintain your health. That's why it's so important to understand how these internal factors combine and why being careful with supplements becomes even more essential after 65. Now that you know why your hair becomes more fragile with age, let's dive into the first major supplement mistake that can make it even worse. And it's one many women are taking. Right now, iron supplements. Iron is one of the most talked about nutrients when it comes to hair loss, and for good reason. Iron deficiency can absolutely contribute to thinning hair, especially in women. It plays a critical role in oxygen transport, cellular energy, and supporting actively growing tissues, including your hair follicles. But here's where it gets complicated. Too much iron can be just as harmful as too little, and sometimes even more dangerous. In younger women, iron deficiency is more common due to menstrual blood loss, but after menopause, that monthly loss stops. This changes your iron needs dramatically. Despite this, many postmenopausal women continue taking iron supplements, often because they assume more must be better or because it's included automatically in their daily multivitamin. Here's the problem. Iron is a pro-oxidant. That means excess iron can generate harmful molecules called free radicals, which cause oxidative stress, a damaging process that injures your cells, including the delicate structures within your hair follicles. Oxidative stress is one of the major contributors to aging-related hair loss. When iron builds up beyond what your body can safely use or store, it accelerates this damage. It can lead to inflammation around your hair follicles, impair their ability to grow new hair, and ultimately result in progressive thinning. This situation is particularly risky because many people have no idea whether they actually need more iron. Symptoms like fatigue or weakness might be misattributed to low iron, but they can result from many other issues. That's why it's crucial to test before supplementing. The most important test to assess your iron status is serum ferritin. Ferritin reflects your body's stored iron levels. In senior women, optimal ferritin levels for hair health usually fall between 50 and 100 ng per milliliter, though these numbers can vary depending on individual factors. Levels significantly above this range suggest iron overload. Levels too low may indicate a true deficiency. Here's a scenario I've seen many times. In my clinic, a woman in her late 60s starts noticing hair thinning. She reads that iron supports hair growth and starts taking a daily 65 milligrams iron tablet without checking her ferritin first. Over several months, her ferritin climbs far above normal. Instead of helping her hair, the excess iron triggers more. Oxidative damage worsens her hair shedding and, ironically, makes her feel even more fatigued. It's a vicious cycle and entirely avoidable, so when is iron supplementation appropriate? If blood tests confirm true iron deficiency anemia, iron supplementation under medical supervision can be very effective, not just for hair, but for overall health. If your ferritin levels are already adequate, additional iron is unnecessary and potentially harmful. For most postmenopausal women without diagnosed deficiency, iron-rich foods like lean red meats, spinach, or fortified cereals are usually sufficient to maintain proper iron balance without risking overload. Bottom line, never guess with iron. Always test, monitor, and supplement only when medically indicated. Unnecessary iron supplementation may quietly sabotage your hair health over time, even when your intentions are good. But iron isn't the only supplement that can backfire. Next, we'll look at another nutrient that's heavily promoted for anti-aging, but easily becomes toxic: vitamin A. Vitamin A often appears on lists of essential nutrients for healthy skin and hair, and indeed, your body absolutely needs it. Vitamin A plays a critical role in cell growth, immune function, and maintaining healthy epithelial tissues, including your scalp and hair follicles. But when it comes to supplementation, more is not always better, especially after 65, unlike water-soluble vitamins, which your body can easily excrete if you consume too much. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means any excess you consume is stored in your liver and fat tissues. Over time, repeated high intake can slowly build up to toxic levels, sometimes without you even realizing it's happening. Unfortunately, many popular supplements targeted at seniors multivitamins, anti-aging blends, and fish liver oil. Capsules contain surprisingly high doses of vitamin A. On top of that, some beauty supplements marketed specifically for hair, skin, and nails add additional vitamin A, further pushing your intake into risky territory. So, how does too much vitamin A affect your hair? At the hair follicle level, vitamin A regulates something called follicular cycling, the natural rhythm your hair follows as it grows, rests, and sheds. Small, balanced amounts help keep this cycle running smoothly. But excessive vitamin A disrupts that rhythm, pushing follicles prematurely into the resting telogen phase, where they stop producing new hair. This leads to a condition called telogen effluvium, diffuse hair shedding across the scalp. Women often describe seeing more hair on their brush, in the shower, and on their pillow. The shedding may feel sudden, but the buildup of vitamin A toxicity may have been occurring silently for months or even years. In more severe cases, chronic high intake can cause dry, brittle hair, scalp irritation, headaches, fatigue, and even liver strain. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where many people are caught off guard. The recommended dietary allowance, RDA, for women over 65 is around 700 micrograms, mcg, of preformed vitamin A per day. Toxic effects can begin to appear when intake regularly exceeds 3,000 mcg per day. Some fish, liver oil. Supplements contain up to 4,000 mcg of vitamin A in a single dose, easily surpassing safe levels if taken daily. Even certain multivitamins combined with fortified foods can quietly push your daily intake higher than you realize. It's important to distinguish between preformed vitamin A retinol, which is found in animal-based foods and supplements, and provitumin, A carotenoids like beta-carotene from plant sources. Your body regulates the conversion of carotenoids into active vitamin A, making it much harder to overdose from vegetables like carrots or sweet potatoes. The real danger lies in excess preformed vitamin A from supplements. Here's a common scenario. A woman takes a daily multivitamin, a separate hair supplement, and fish oil capsules, all containing vitamin A. Over time, her cumulative intake quietly rises far above safe limits. She notices her hair thinning and blames aging, never suspecting that her well-meaning supplement routine may be a major contributor to protect your hair and your overall health. Follow these simple guidelines. Avoid high-dose vitamin A supplements unless specifically prescribed for a diagnosed deficiency. Look for retinol-preformed vitamin A and add up your total daily intake. Favor whole food sources of vitamin A precursors like colorful vegetables, which allow your body to convert what it needs safely. If you're concerned about your vitamin status, a simple blood test can provide clarity before adding supplements. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid nutrients. It's to provide your body with just enough, not too little, not too much, to support healthy hair growth. And speaking of nutrients that are often overhyped, let's turn to a supplement that's heavily marketed as a hair growth miracle, biotin. Walk into any pharmacy or health store, and you'll likely see entire shelves dedicated to hair, skin, and nails supplements, and almost all of them heavily feature biotin, often in very large doses. Biotin, also known as vitamin B7, is essential for healthy hair. It helps your body metabolize amino acids, which are the building blocks of keratin, the main protein that forms your hair. Without enough biotin, hair can become brittle, thin, and weak. That much is true, but here's the important distinction. Actual biotin deficiency is extremely rare, especially in developed countries, and particularly in women over 65. Most people get plenty of biotin through their diet. Foods like eggs, nuts, seeds, salmon, and whole grains provide ample amounts. For healthy seniors, without specific medical issues, your body's daily need for biotin is relatively small, about 30 micrograms per day. So why are so many supplements sold with doses of 5,000 mcg, 10,000 mcg, or even 20,000 mcg per capsule? The truth is, much of this marketing plays on fear and vanity, the desire for thicker, longer hair at any cost. But megadoses of biotin provide no proven additional benefit unless you are truly deficient, and that's where the risks start to appear, while biotin itself is considered non-toxic, even at high doses. These megadoses can interfere with important laboratory tests, often without any warning. Biotin can skew the results of thyroid function tests, heart markers like troponin, and certain hormone levels. In some cases, this interference can lead to misdiagnoses or delayed treatments, particularly if your doctors are unaware you're taking large amounts of biotin. This problem became so widespread that in 2017, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, issued a public safety alert about biotin interference in lab tests. Even tiny discrepancies in test results can have serious consequences when diagnosing conditions like heart attacks, thyroid disorders, or cancer markers. Beyond the lab test concerns, extremely high biotin intake can also disrupt the delicate balance of other B vitamins, potentially leading to subtle imbalances in your overall nutrient profile, something particularly important to monitor in older adults who may already be managing multiple medications and complex health conditions. Let me share a common example. From my clinic, a woman in her early 70s comes in, frustrated by ongoing hair thinning. She's been faithfully taking a 10,000 mcg biotin supplement daily for over a year, far exceeding her daily requirement. Her thyroid tests appear slightly off, but her doctors can't find an explanation. Only after stopping the high-dose biotin do her lab results normalize, and her hair shows no improvement during all those months of megadosing. The bottom line is this: biotin helps hair only if you're deficient, and true deficiency is quite rare in women your age. If you're concerned about your biotin status, speak to your doctor before starting any high-dose supplements. Inform your healthcare team about any biotin you're taking before getting blood work done. Favor biotin from natural food sources, which provide balanced, appropriate amounts alongside other nutrients. Avoid megadoses unless medically prescribed for a diagnosed deficiency. When it comes to supporting your hair after 65, taking excessive amounts of a single nutrient rarely works. Balance is far more important, and nowhere is this truer than with another mineral that can easily tip out of balance. Zinc is one of those nutrients that often flies under the radar, yet it plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy, vibrant hair. Your hair follicles rely on zinc for proper cell division, protein synthesis, and wound healing, all of which are essential for healthy hair growth and scalp integrity. But just like with iron and vitamin A, both too little and too much zinc can be harmful, especially for women over 65. Let's start with deficiency. Zinc deficiency is slightly more common in seniors due to several factors: reduced appetite, or limited diet certain medications that interfere with zinc absorption, such as diuretics or acid-reducing drugs-related decline in digestive efficiency. When zinc levels drop too low, hair follicles may weaken. This can lead to hair thinning, delayed wound healing, brittle nails, and even a weakened immune system. In these cases, moderate zinc supplementation under medical guidance can help restore proper levels and support hair regrowth. But here's where many people unknowingly create new problems. They read that zinc helps with hair growth and decide to take high-dose supplements, often without testing or supervision. The problem is that zinc and copper are intricately linked in your body. They compete for absorption in the gut. When you consume excessive zinc, especially doses above 40 milligrams per day, your body's ability to absorb copper diminishes. Over time, this leads to a copper deficiency, which brings its own set of serious issues, including further hair loss, anemia, weakened connective tissues, nervous system problems, impaired immune function. In essence, what starts as an attempt to support hair health can backfire dramatically if zinc intake isn't properly balanced. High zinc intake can also directly cause zinc toxicity, which often presents with nausea and gastrointestinal discomfort, headache, suppressed immune functioning, increased hair shedding, metallic taste in the mouth. It's easy to see how this can become a vicious cycle. A woman notices hair shedding, adds more zinc, hoping to fix the problem, but unintentionally worsens it by creating new imbalances that further disrupt hair follicle health. So, what's the safe and effective approach? For women over 65, the recommended daily zinc intake is about 8 to 11 milligrams per day from all sources, including food. Short-term supplementation at slightly higher doses, 15 to 25 milligrams per day, may be helpful if a deficiency is confirmed, but this should always be monitored by a healthcare provider. Doses above 40 milligrams per day. Long-term are not recommended without strict medical supervision. If you do supplement with zinc, consider a balanced formula that includes copper to prevent imbalance. Whole food sources of zinc like lean meats, shellfish, legumes, seeds, and whole grains typically provide safe, well-absorbed amounts that won't disrupt mineral balance. Let me give you a real-life example. A woman in her late 60s comes into my clinic after several months of self-prescribed 50 milligrams zinc supplements she read about online. She reports nausea, fatigue, and worsening hair loss, exactly the opposite of what she hoped for. Blood work reveals low copper levels and zinc well above the optimal range. Once we corrected her supplementation, her symptoms improved, and her hair began to stabilize. The key takeaway? Zinc is important, but balance is everything, and that brings us to perhaps the most important part of today's discussion, a simple, science-backed framework that can help you make smarter, safer decisions about supplements after 6. Let's go over the 5 supplement rules to protect your hair health after 6. By now, you've seen how easily good intentions with supplements can backfire, especially when it comes to protecting your hair after 65. But the good news is that you don't need to give up on supplements entirely. When used wisely, they can still support your health, including your hair, without unnecessary risks. Here are the 5 supplement rules I recommend to every woman over 65 who wants to maintain strong, healthy hair while avoiding hidden dangers. Rule 1. Always test blood levels before supplementing iron or zinc. This is perhaps the most critical rule. Never assume you're deficient based on symptoms alone. Fatigue, weakness, or hair shedding can result from many causes. Not just low iron or zinc. Ask your doctor to check serum ferritin for iron stores and plasma zinc levels if deficiency is suspected. Supplement only. If a true deficiency is confirmed by lab work, retest periodically to ensure levels stay in a safe range. Testing takes the guesswork out of supplementation and helps prevent accidental overload, which, as you've learned, can be even more damaging to your hair follicles than deficiency. Rule 2. Avoid high-dose fat-soluble vitamins unless specifically prescribed fat-soluble vitamins, including vitamin A, D, E, and K, accumulate in your body over time. While they are essential for health, excess amounts can lead to toxicity, liver strain, and in the case of vitamin A, trigger hair shedding by disrupting follicle cycling. Carefully review the labels of all your supplements. Look for preformed vitamin A retinol amounts. Combine intake from multivitamins, specialized supplements, and fortified foods to assess your total daily intake. Stay within safe, daily intake limits unless your doctor prescribes otherwise for a specific deficiency. Favor obtaining these vitamins through a balanced diet rich in whole foods whenever possible. Rule 3. Use biotin only if a true deficiency is confirmed. Biotin is widely marketed for hair growth, but true biotin deficiency is rare. Unnecessary megadoses not only fail to improve hair health, but may interfere with crucial lab tests. If you eat a balanced diet, you are likely getting sufficient biotin. Avoid high-dose biotin supplements, 5,000 mcg or higher. Unless prescribed for a diagnosed deficiency, always inform your healthcare providers. If you're taking biotin before any blood work, the promise of more is better simply doesn't apply to biotin when it comes to hair health in seniors. Rule 4. Carefully balance B-complex supplements. B vitamins work as a team. They support cellular energy, nervous system function, and hair growth. But high doses of certain B vitamins, like B6 or niacin, can have adverse effects when taken in isolation or extreme amounts. Choose balanced B-complex formulas that stay close to 100% of the recommended daily allowance, RDA, unless your doctor advises otherwise. Avoid unnecessary megadoses unless they are addressing a medically diagnosed deficiency. Monitor for possible side effects such as tingling, flushing, or nerve irritation, which can occur at very high doses of some B vitamins. Keeping B vitamins in balance allows your hair follicles to receive the full range of support they need without creating new imbalances that stress your system. Rule 5. Prioritize whole food sources of nutrients whenever possible. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, your diet remains your best defense against both deficiency and toxicity. Focus on a diverse diet rich in lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and nuts. Whole foods provide not only the essential vitamins and minerals your hair needs, but also fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that support your body's overall metabolic balance. Supplements should fill gaps, not replace the foundation of good nutrition. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. When you prioritize real nutrient-rich foods and supplement carefully based on real medical data, you give your hair the strongest possible foundation for resilience, even as you move through your 60s, 70s, and beyond. And now that you have a clear framework for protecting your hair, let's wrap up with some closing thoughts and a message of reassurance. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered today. You started this video because you care about your health and your hair. Like many women over 65, you may have turned to supplements in hopes of protecting what matters so much to your confidence, identity, and well-being. But as you've learned, certain supplement mistakes can quietly sabotage your hair without you even realizing it. We explored how hormonal shifts after menopause, especially declining estrogen and increased DHT sensitivity, make hair more fragile. How iron supplementation, while sometimes necessary, can become toxic if taken without testing. How high-dose vitamin A disrupts hair follicle cycles and accumulates dangerously over time. How megadoses of biotin offer no proven benefits for hair unless you have a rare deficiency and can even interfere with important medical tests. And how zinc, though essential, requires careful balance to avoid triggering copper deficiency and additional hair loss. But here's the hopeful part. With the right adjustments, many women can regain control. Hair thinning after 65 isn't always inevitable or irreversible. In many cases, it's a matter of identifying and correcting these hidden supplement mistakes with proper blood testing, smart nutritional choices, and personalized care. You can protect your hair follicles and give them the support they need to continue growing strong. Vibrant strands even well into your later years. And remember, true beauty, true confidence, and true health come from knowledge, balance, and informed decisions, not from chasing miracle cures or blindly following trends. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced hair thinning while taking supplements? Did today's video open your eyes to something you hadn't considered before? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story may help another woman who's facing the same challenges. And if you found this information helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Each week, I'll be sharing new science-backed videos focused on empowering women over 65 with real knowledge to take control of your health and well-being safely, naturally, and confidently. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay empowered, and take good care of yourself.